Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and Kamala Harris just got about the worst news you can get if you're an incumbent candidate, and she technically kind of is since she's the vice president before an election. But before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, guys, please go to that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@ExplainAmerica. If you go there, just hit subscribe absolutely free. It really helps us out. On CNBC today, after the jobs report came back, and it was abysmal, only around a little over 120,000 jobs added, which is short of the goal they had and short of expectations. And when you dig deeper into the numbers, you see that foreign-born workers did a whole lot better than American-born workers in obtaining those jobs. You also find out that a lot of those jobs are part-time jobs that people are using to make ends meet on top of their original initial jobs. Not great news if you are the incumbent, because as I've said in previous videos, elections almost always hinge on the economy and how people feel about the economy and which candidate they think will do better for the economy, because people vote in their best interest. They vote with their wallets, right? They vote with their bank accounts. They vote with their paychecks. Well, CNBC was talking about this morning, and CNBC is pretty much the authority on finance in the news market. And several of their people believe we are either in a recession or heading to a recession very quickly, which is going to be tough because even if Trump wins, the recession's still going to happen. It's just that he could probably pull us out of it quicker. But he will get the blame for it. He'll absolutely get the blame for it. That's just the way it is. But we understand that this is on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I want you to watch this report and then let me know what you think in the comments.
Which is sort of normal course of business, higher interest rates, higher inflation, eventually consumer slows down, employment markets slow down. Remember also, employment markets are not a preliminary indicator of recession. Employment markets tend to crack at the exact same time a recession starts. So you're not going to see it in labor data before it happens. And then there's structural recessions which happen due to pandemic, due to banking crisis, due to the technology bubbles. I don't think we're in the latter category. I think we're in the type of recession eventually that comes due to this cycle of higher interest rates, higher inflation, the stress that puts on the consumer eventually hits their savings rates, increases their delinquency rates. That hits the employment markets, where we're already starting to see some signs of companies slowing down in terms of hiring. They've paused hiring already. I think the next step will be when we start to see more layoffs. And that then will bring you your run-of-the-mill, more of a normal type of recession.
I was going to follow up with Betsy. But
go ahead. You go ahead and follow up with Betsy, and then we'll be at 8:45. Who knows? Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Betsy, we have a few minutes here. Just give us your outlook on when you say this is weak. How do you go from that to your view on the broader economy?
There's a fine line between between weak and normalizing. And what I see here is the labor market is definitely weakening, and we're going to see people who are outside the labor market having a hard time finding jobs. That's going to cause some pain. That's going to cause some contraction in consumer spending. And the question will be, can we sort of manage through that with policy? I do think this is the ultimate test for the Fed right now. I completely agree with your idea of, you're putting it out there as what's the Fed trying to do? It's trying to find the neutral place, the place where it gets, employment and growth balanced with price growth. I don't think it knows where that is, but I think we can all agree right now that rates are too high for that. And we don't have a ton of experience. I just heard talk about a normal recession. I don't know. We don't have a ton of experience being in the place we're at right now. And I think the Fed is flying a little bit blind. But I do think that they've got to bring rates down quickly before we start to see things worsening. Because when I'm looking at job growth retreating in so many sectors, it says that we need to do something, not so much to bolster the economy, but to at least take our foot off the brakes.
Steve, what's happening?
I have some headlines from John Williams here from the